Okay, this is an experiment, and it's for Linda, my friend Linda Howell. And Linda had sent me a list of 19 questions, not 20 questions, but 19 questions to answer about, um, well, I'll read you the title. Questions for interviewing Anne about art, life, and the universe. So just a few minor topics that she would like me to cover in my responses to her questions. Linda is a friend of, I think, probably more than 40 years, maybe 45 or 6 or 7 even. And we've known each other off and on over those 47 years. So so the questions, when I read the questions, they're the kind of questions that you would probably ask to someone who has been an artist for those 40 years, and probably a well-known artist, because really I don't know that anybody beyond Linda would care about my answers to these questions, but I have some free time, and I think it'll be fun to answer these questions. I'll just go through them linear. I've got some music playing in the background. If it becomes distracting to me, I'll turn it off. It's on pretty low, but I like music, so music is on. Number 1. As your friend and admirer of many years, I have watched your creativity take many directions, including but not limited to poetry, painting, guitar, music writing, story writing, blogging, and knitting. As a current art student at North Island College, you have also worked in several other genres. Considering all these creative outlets, do you perceive a pattern in your creative development, or has it been mostly random until art school? Well, Linda, so I think you know what I would probably say, but I'll say it anyway. I think maybe at the time, as years went by, I might think, oh, it's random. Here I am trying something else and not being very successful at it or very good at it. But when I look back from this vantage point, about 1 year into art school, I can look back at all those things and say that they are part of an ongoing narrative of creativity. And so when I think about the narrative at the time as I was doing all those things, I think I would start with writing poetry, writing short stories, writing poetry again, then starting to do a little bit of painting and some assemblage. And then I picked up the guitar and tried to learn the guitar. Tried to write some of my own songs. I've been keeping a blog for the past several months, and I've knit off and on. There's probably other little things in there that I've tried, but I can't think of them right now. I think in each one of those things that I tried, I was trying to do two things. I was trying to both find myself and also express what I found. I would say short stories were a little less so like that, and also knitting. For those two things, I think I was trying to be accomplished. I was trying to write good stories, and I was trying to knit good knitted things, and I didn't do either of those two things. As far as knitting goes, I just got cramps in my hands. And short stories, I have, I don't know, maybe 50 of them, and that might be an exaggeration. Maybe I have 20. They're not very good. They just sort of trail off into nowhere. But I try hard. I tried hard to write stories. So, so Linda's question was, do you perceive a pattern in your creative development, or has it been mostly random until art school? So I'll jump into that question again. I think it hasn't been random. It has been like, just, okay, I'll try this, I'll try this, I'll try this. Surely I can do this. And always an attempt to see if what I turn my mind and my hands to would lead to anything that would give me the satisfaction, never mind anyone else getting satisfaction. So I think maybe moderately successful with poetry. I've had a few poems published over the years. But I always found words quite restrictive. And writing, not so much poetry, but writing in general exhausted me. I would be exhausted after writing just for an hour. So, and in fact, art school, I hadn't even really intended to go to art school. That was a random occurrence that happened. I had intended when I retired to take some, I really wanted to take some sculpture courses. I used to have these urges or longings to, it's like I want to make, so I want something to come out of my hands. I wanted my hands to be worker hands. And in the 5 years before I retired, I started making these kind of wild assemblages. And that was doing it. But I thought, well, maybe I would like to take a sculpture course when I retired, just to see. So unfortunately, I couldn't just take a sculpture course because there were no spots in the course for non-fine arts students. So I thought, well, okay, I'll put together a portfolio, and I will, of the stuff I've done in my life, a fair amount of random paintings. I had done a little watercolor drawing book for my granddaughter called Lola's Blue Cats. And so I had put those things together, plus some assemblage, and put them together in a portfolio and applied to art school so I could take one sculpture course. So I really love it. So in retrospect, probably not random, just how the narrative unfolded, just kept looking. I kept looking for myself. Where are you? Where are you? And on a philosophical level, I think that's a pretty important question to ask. Not only who are you or who am I, but where am I? What do I look like? And on a related note, I think it wasn't really until I got into taking art courses and learning how to think like an artist was I able to bear even looking at photographs of myself. So for me, or to take myself seriously and my opinions about anything seriously. So for me to be sitting here in my studio / home, listening to myself talk about art and watching myself as I'm making this video feels just in itself an accomplishment. I hope I didn't smack my lips too much. Next video, I'll try not to smack at all.